Today, I need to have an honest conversation with you about something that's been weighing on me. In the past few months, I've watched more seniors get stopped, delayed, and even denied boarding than in my entire 15 years of flying the galley. And it's not because they did anything wrong, it's because nobody told them the rules changed. I'm talking about 3 major airline policy shifts that went into effect between late 2025 and early 2026. These aren't small adjustments. These are the kind of changes that can turn your dream vacation into a nightmare before you even leave the ground. You might be thinking, I've been flying for 50 years. I know how this works. And I believe you. But here's the thing. The airline you flew last year is not the same airline you're flying today. The ID that worked in December might cost you $45 in February. The boarding process you've memorized for decades just got thrown out the window. And the refund you assumed you'd get? There are new rules about that too. Just last month, I watched a 71-year-old woman named Dorothy miss her granddaughter's college graduation because her driver's license didn't have one tiny star in the corner. She'd flown with that same license a dozen times, but the rules changed on February 1st and nobody sent her a memo. She was devastated. And honestly, so was I. That's why I'm making this video. If you want to keep getting insider tips that could save your next trip, do me a favor right now and hit that subscribe button. I share these secrets because I've seen what happens when people don't know them. All right, here's what we're covering today. I'm going to walk you through 8 critical changes that every traveler over 65 needs to understand before their next flight. Let's start with the one catching the most people off guard. Let's start with the change that's catching the most people off guard: the Real ID deadline. You've probably heard about it for years. May 2025, they said. Get your ID updated, they said. But here's what nobody made clear. Starting February 1st, 2026, if you show up at TSA without a real ID or an acceptable alternative, you're paying $45. Cash. Right there at the checkpoint. This isn't a warning anymore. This isn't a grace period. This is enforcement. And here's the kicker. That $45 only covers you for 10 days. 10 days. So if you're flying to visit your grandkids for 2 weeks and you don't have a compliant ID, you're paying $45 to get there and another $45 to get home. That's $90 just because nobody told you to check your license. Now let me tell you what to look for. Take out your driver's license right now. Look at the top right corner. Do you see a small gold or black star? That star means you're Real ID compliant. No star? Your license won't get you through TSA without paying that fee. Period. And here's something most people don't realize. Even if you pay the $45, TSA cannot guarantee they'll be able to verify your identity. The process can take up to 30 minutes, and if their system can't confirm who you are, you're not getting on that plane. You paid the fee and you still missed your flight. Here's what you do. If your license doesn't have the star, you have options. A valid U.S. passport works. A passport card works and only costs $30. Military ID, tribal ID, those work too. But if you don't have any of those, pay the fee online before you get to the airport. Go to tsa.gov/confirmid, complete the process, and bring your receipt. Printed or screenshot, doesn't matter. Just have it ready. Don't be Dorothy. Check your ID today. Now let's talk about something that actually works in your favor: the automatic refund rule. This one took effect in October 2024, and most travelers have no idea it exists. Here's the old way. Your flight gets canceled or delayed for hours. You call the airline, you wait on hold, you beg for your money back, and they offer you a voucher you'll never use. Sound familiar? Here's the new way. If your domestic flight is delayed 3 hours or more, or your international flight is delayed 6 hours or more, you are entitled to an automatic cash refund. Not a voucher, not a credit. Your actual money, back in your account. The airline has 7 business days to process it for credit cards, 20 days for other payment methods. And it doesn't stop there. If the airline loses your checked bag for more than 12 hours on a domestic flight, they have to refund your baggage fee. If you paid for Wi-Fi or seat selection and didn't get it, refund. Automatically. Here's exactly what you say if you need to push back. Under the DOT automatic refund rule, I'm requesting a full refund to my original payment method. Don't let them redirect you to a voucher. Don't accept a travel credit unless you actually want one. The law is on your side now. Document everything. Screenshot your original booking. Note the delay time. If the airline refuses, file a complaint at flightrights.gov. The Department of Transportation takes these seriously. For years, airlines counted on you not knowing your rights. That ends today. All right, this next one is a big deal, especially if you've been flying Southwest for years. On January 27, 2026, Southwest Airlines ended their open seating policy. Gone. After 53 years of first come, first served, the whole system changed overnight. No more lining up at those numbered poles. No more racing to check in exactly 24 hours before your flight. No more walking onto the plane and picking whatever seat you want. Here's what replaced it. 8 boarding groups. Not ABC anymore. Groups 1 through 8, determined by your fare type, your loyalty status, and where your seat is located on the plane. If you bought the cheapest ticket, what they now call basic fare, you don't get to choose your seat when you book. You get assigned a seat at check-in. Could be a window. Could be the middle seat in the last row. You won't know until 24 hours before departure. And here's what a lot of longtime Southwest flyers don't realize. They also ended free checked bags. First bag is now $35. Second bag is $45. That perk that made Southwest different? It's gone unless you have their top-tier status or you're flying on the most expensive fare. Now, if you're traveling with family, listen carefully. Southwest says they'll try to seat children under 13 with a parent on the same reservation. Try. That's not a guarantee. On a basic fare, you could end up 3 rows apart from your grandchild, and there's nothing the gate agent can do about it because the computer assigned the seats. Here's what you do. When you book Southwest now, don't automatically grab the cheapest option. Look at the choice fare or higher if you want to pick your seat at the time of booking. If you're traveling with someone, make absolutely sure you're on the same reservation. And get to the airport earlier than you used to. The new boarding system is confusing, and the lines are different. Give yourself time to figure it out before your group gets called. The airline isn't trying to trick you, but they also didn't exactly send you a letter explaining all this. Now you know. Let's move to something that could change your entire airport experience if you let it. Pre-boarding rights. And I mean legal rights, not just a nice gesture. Under federal law, specifically the Air Carrier Access Act, airlines must allow passengers who need extra time or assistance to board before everyone else. Before first class. Before elite members. Before families with small children. Before anyone. Here's what most seniors don't realize. You don't need a wheelchair to qualify. You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to prove anything. If you need extra time to get settled, if you need help storing your bag, if you have difficulty walking long distances, if you simply feel more comfortable boarding without a crowd pushing behind you, you qualify. All you have to do is self-identify at the gate. Here's exactly what you say. Walk up to the gate agent before boarding begins and say, "I need to request pre-boarding because I require extra time to get settled." That's it. They cannot ask you to prove it. They cannot deny you. It's federal law. I've seen couples in their 70s wait until their boarding group was called, then struggle down the aisle with a cane while 200 passengers huffed behind them. One gentleman nearly fell trying to lift his carry-on. If they had pre-boarded, I would have been right there to help. No rush, no crowd, no stress. Please, ask for pre-boarding. We want you to use it. You've earned it. Now let's talk about something that affects millions of travelers but rarely gets explained clearly: wheelchair and mobility device protections. The Department of Transportation issued major new rules that took effect January 16, 2025. But here's where it gets complicated. Some of those rules are being enforced right now, and some got delayed until the end of 2026. If you use a wheelchair or scooter, you need to know the difference. Here's what's enforced right now. Airlines must provide what the law calls safe and dignified assistance. That's not just a suggestion anymore. It's legally defined. Safe means they can't put you at heightened risk of injury. Dignified means they have to respect your independence and privacy. When you land, your wheelchair must be waiting at the aircraft door by the time you're ready to deplane. If your wheelchair gets delayed on a domestic flight, the airline has to get it back to you within 24 hours at their expense. And here's something new. Airlines are now required to publish the dimensions of their cargo holds on their websites. That means you can check before you book whether your chair will actually fit on that plane. Now here's what got delayed. Automatic liability for damaged wheelchairs. That protection exists in the rule, but enforcement is paused until December 2026 while the government reviews it. Same with increased training requirements and pre-departure notifications about your right to file claims. Here's what you do. Before you book any flight, go to the airline's website and check their cargo hold dimensions. When you book, request wheelchair assistance at least 48 hours in advance. Use this exact phrase. I need wheelchair assistance from check-in through boarding and from the gate to baggage claim on arrival. Be specific so nothing falls through the cracks. If your wheelchair gets damaged, document everything immediately. Take photos, get names, file a claim with the airline that same day, and file a complaint with the Department of Transportation at flightrights.gov. The more documentation you have, the stronger your case. DOT data shows that 1 in every 100 wheelchairs on domestic flights gets damaged, delayed, or lost. These aren't just mobility devices, they're your independence. Airlines are finally being held accountable, but only if you know what protections actually apply today. Let's shift to something affecting every single traveler right now. The carry-on crackdown. That bag you've been flying with for years, the one that always fit just fine? It might cost you $75 at the gate this year. Here's what changed. The size limits didn't change. What changed is enforcement. Airlines are now strictly measuring bags at the gate, not eyeballing them, actually putting them in the sizer. And if your bag doesn't fit, including the wheels, including the handles, you're paying a gate check fee that's significantly higher than what you'd pay at the counter. The standard limit is 22 by 14 by 9 inches. That's total dimensions. Wheels count. Handles count. That expandable zipper you use to squeeze in one more sweater? That counts too. Soft-sided bags used to get a pass because you could squish them in. Not anymore. If it doesn't slide into the frame, it's getting checked. And they're measuring personal items now too. That oversized laptop bag or stuffed backpack might get flagged. Here's what you do. Measure your bag at home before you pack. Include the wheels and handles. If it's borderline, check it at the ticket counter where fees are lower. And never, ever pack medications in a carry-on that might get gate checked. Keep your prescriptions in your personal item that stays with you. Measure twice, fly once. It takes 2 minutes at home and could save you $100 and a whole lot of stress. Now let me share something that could make your entire security experience easier. TSA has specific accommodations for travelers 75 and older. They've had them for years, but they don't exactly advertise them, so most seniors have no idea these options exist. Here's what you're entitled to. If you're 75 or older, you can request to remain seated during the entire screening process. You don't have to stand in the body scanner with your arms up. You don't have to walk through the metal detector if it's difficult for you. TSA officers can conduct your screening while you stay seated in a chair or your own wheelchair. Now, as of July 2025, everyone can keep their shoes on at security, not just seniors. But here's what hasn't changed. If you have medical devices, implants, or a pacemaker, you should inform the TSA officer immediately. They have alternative screening methods specifically for passengers who can't go through standard equipment. You can request a pat-down instead of the body scanner. You can request a hand inspection of your medical equipment. And here's something most travelers don't know exists. TSA Cares. It's a dedicated helpline specifically for travelers with disabilities, medical conditions, or special circumstances. You call them 72 hours before your flight, explain your situation, and they coordinate with the airport to make sure you get the assistance you need. Here's what you do. Call TSA Cares at 855-787-2227 or email TSA-contactcenter at tsa.dhs.gov at least 3 days before you travel. When you arrive at security, tell the officer right away. Say, "I'm 75 and I'd like to remain seated during screening." If you need additional help, ask for a passenger support specialist. They're trained specifically for situations like yours. TSA isn't trying to make your life difficult. They have accommodations designed for you, but you have to know to ask. Don't ever feel rushed or pressured at security. These options exist because you deserve them. Finally, let's talk about refund rights that protect you even if you don't think of yourself as disabled. This one surprises a lot of people. If an airline changes your aircraft and that change removes accessibility features you need, you're entitled to a full refund. Not a voucher, a refund. Here's how this works. Let's say you booked a specific flight because the aircraft had movable aisle armrests, or an accessible lavatory, or seats near the front so you wouldn't have to walk far. Then the airline swaps the plane, and suddenly those features are gone. Under DOT rules and the FAA Reauthorization Act, that's a significant change that entitles you to your money back. And here's what most people miss. This doesn't just apply to you. If you're traveling with a companion on the same reservation and the aircraft change removes features you need, your companion is entitled to a refund too. Both of you. These protections also cover non-visible disabilities, chronic pain, severe arthritis, breathing difficulties, anxiety in crowded spaces. You don't need to look disabled to have a disability, and you don't need to prove your condition to exercise your rights. Here's exactly what you say. This aircraft substitution removes accessibility features I require. Under DOT rules, I'm requesting a full refund to my original payment method. If they push back, file a complaint at flightrights.gov. Document the original aircraft type you booked and the features you needed. I've watched passengers suffer in silence on flights because they didn't think their condition counted. It counts. Chronic pain is real. Arthritis is real. Needing a seat near the lavatory because of a medical condition is real. The law protects you, but only if you speak up. Your comfort matters. Advocate for yourself. Before I let you go, I want to make sure you're set up for success. If you're getting value from these insider tips and you want to make sure you never miss a warning that could save your trip, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking because these rules keep changing, and I don't want you to be the one who finds out the hard way. All right, let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today. Number 1. The $45 Real ID penalty is now active. If your license doesn't have that star, you're paying cash at the airport or getting turned away. Check your ID today. Number 2. The automatic refund rule means airlines can't make you fight for your money anymore. 3-hour delay on a domestic flight? You're entitled to a cash refund automatically. Number 3. Southwest completely changed their boarding. No more open seating, no more ABC groups. If you don't pay for seat selection, you're getting assigned wherever they put you. Number 4. Pre-boarding isn't just for wheelchairs. If you need extra time for any reason, you have the legal right to board before everyone else. Just ask. Number 5. Wheelchair protections have new teeth, but some rules are delayed. Know what's enforced now, and document everything if your device is damaged. Number 6. Carry-on enforcement is serious. Measure your bag at home or risk a $75 surprise at the gate. Number 7. TSA has accommodations specifically for travelers 75 and older. Call ahead, ask for assistance, and never feel rushed through security. Number 8. Disability refund rights protect you even if your disability isn't visible. Speak up if an aircraft change removes features you need. That's 8 things that could mean the difference between a smooth trip and a disaster at the airport. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I've got videos coming up on how to handle canceled flights, the crew secrets airlines don't advertise, and how to actually get that upgrade you deserve. Thank you for flying with me today. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next one.